Today, I'm going to be walking you through a really quick, simple, step-by-step approach on what you can do to help somebody who is choking. And we're talking about adults in particular on this occasion. Now, choking is quite easy to recognise. All right, that patient is obviously not going to be able to breathe whatsoever. If they can't breathe, they're probably not going to be able to talk either. They might look very, very scared for obvious reasons. They might even be holding on to their throat or even pointing towards their back to indicate that they want some assistance. Now, initially, for the first few seconds, these patients tend to go quite red, but that rapidly fades into a pale complexion very, very quickly before turning blue right before they collapse and potentially go into cardiac arrest. So you being able to intervene can make all the difference and potentially save a life. So if we think somebody is choking and we're really concerned for them, we can quite simply confirm this by asking them, are you choking? If they indicate that yes, they are, we then need to make sure they're happy for us to help. So I'll say, are you choking? Would you like me to help you? If they're happy for you to help, this is when we start intervening. And the first intervention is so simple. We're just going to ask them to try and cough as hard as they can for us. Now, we want to encourage them to do this 5 times. Okay, now where the diaphragm bounces up when we try to cough, we're hoping that this is going to produce enough pressure to pop whatever it is that's in their throat out and to clear that airway. So cough 5 times. If the coughing is not helping, we then need to do something else. And we're going to perform something called back blows. Now, this is not very nice for the patient and you need to make contact really, really hard with them. Now, to perform a back blow, we need our hand flat and we're going to use the palm of our hand. This is going to come into contact in between their shoulder blades below their neck. So I'm going to show you on this mannequin where that's going to be. All right, we're going to aim about here. Okay, now this is not a gentle tap. This is quite forceful. So you need to make sure that you put your arm over the front of that patient to support them because it's going to be hard. Okay, so once you've got your palm in place, we're going to perform up to 5 back blows. Now, after each back blow, you need to stop and check your patient because if we're able to dislodge that blockage after 1 back blow, the next 4 are just going to be assaulting a patient. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now my palm actually hurts a little bit there. That's how hard we need to make contact with that patient. Okay, now if we've done those 5 back blows and that person is still choking, we then need to do something called abdominal thrust, also known as the Heimlich maneuver. You need to make a fist and place this in the center, right underneath the diaphragm and above the belly button. Okay, the fist will then be covered by your other hand, which we're going to wrap around. And when we perform these abdominal thrusts, we need to go in and then up. Okay, now we do up to 5 of these. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your abdominal thrusts haven't worked, we quite simply go back to the back blows and we'll repeat that cycle. Up to 5 back blows, up to 5 abdominal thrusts, up to 5 back blows, up to 5 abdominal thrusts. Now hopefully either yourself or somebody else would have called for an ambulance by now. Okay, so we're just going to continue this cycle until one of 2 things occurs. You either dislodge that blockage or that patient collapses. Now, if the patient collapses, let the people at the other end of the phone know and the ambulance service will walk you through the next steps. The last thing that I really want to mention, and it's really, really important, that even if you just give 1 abdominal thrust, we strongly recommend that that patient is always sent to hospital because abdominal thrust can cause internal bleeding. So even if it's just the 1, we need to advise you need to go to hospital. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit like. Feel free to follow us on all our platforms, all the main ones. And if you fancy doing some training with myself or my colleagues, we're based at ALR Training in Buckinghamshire. I'll pop the link in the comments. I'll also pop it at the end of this video. And come back and see us soon for another subject.